For many professional trainers, the road to the top is often long but rewarding. Victoria mentor Len Ketelaar is no exception to the rule. His Euro kennels testament to his success.
I was always interested in greyhounds. I used to go to the old Olympic Park track and have a wager when I was younger. But then I met my wife, and her father's a trainer. His name is Matt Gross. A lot of the old timers in the game would remember him. He's passed away quite a while ago now, but he started me off. He had a few dogs in the kennel there at West Brunswick, and I followed his team and helped him and got interested that way.
Is it something when you started that you thought you'd be involved in for so long?
No, not really. I took an interest then, and well, Rob and I were married, and we moved out to our own place, and just got that inkling to have a go myself and give it a try. And while I was working, I just did it part-time with a couple, and we had reasonable success, and so we thought we might go in it in a slightly bigger way.
A walk through the Ketelaar's lounge room is clear evidence of the success enjoyed by the family, with many fine chasers prepared at this establishment.
I started off with a bitch called Not Fussy. I bought off Tony Marino when we first started, and she won about a dozen races for us. Our next good dog was probably Broken Cup. He won a lot of races in town for us, won the maturity, won the Warrigal Cup. We bought him off Billy Miller, a breeder in New South Wales. Going back, Poddy's Gully was very successful for us. He ran second in a Silver Chief and second in the Adelaide Cup. Dogs like Mystic Hope, National Distance Championship winner. She won a state final and the national final for us. Plug of Fever, another exciting dog. He, very slow early, but very strong. He won a Silver Chief coming from behind. It was an exciting night when he won by a head or something like that from a bad box. Now they've got Head Honcho. I won 14 out of 15 with Head Honcho. He was a very good dog, and I wish I had him a little bit longer.
How exciting was it to train a greyhound of his ability?
I think his determination to win. I think he's just a freak. He just wanted to win at all costs. And the only time he didn't win for me was he tripped over another dog, and you know, it was unbelievable. But looking back on it now, you probably should have won 15 out of 15 for me.
What would you sort of rate as your special moment in greyhound racing?
Winning the distance championship with Mystic Hope, I think. Gee, I went weak at the knees in the catching pen there because we were right near the catching pen at the start there at the old Olympic Park, and geez, that was a big thrill. Winning the maturity with Broken Cup, that was unbelievable. That's the first big feature race I won. As I said before, Plug of Fever's winning the Silver Chief, you know, when he just got up in the last stride to win by a short margin. As you can see, he'd won clearly, but you know, it's just so exciting, and you know, the place was jumping. He was 21 shot that time, and the owners had a ball. They cleaned up.
Fond memories for Len, who at the moment has a relatively small team in work.
I've got 11 in the kennels at the moment, but only about 4 or 5 race dogs. The rest are only pups that I'm working on and trying to bring up.
Okay, Len, so racing kennels here. Now, have you segregated the dogs and the bitches?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact. The dogs are in another kennel lock, and these are the bitches in here. At the moment, I have a very good race bitch called Mac Lady. Midge is her kennel name. That's her here.
This is the girl?
Yeah.
She's flying at the moment?
She's going exceptionally well. Jim Lee's really happy too. He's the owner in South Australia. He sent her across to me, and she hasn't put a foot wrong. And she's got a wonderful temperament with it. She's like a little lamb, she is. And
you must have been wrapped to a run in the Dandenong Dry Cleaners file.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she give tonight's wish a bit of a scare, but the whole season campaigner was just a bit too strong. But given another half a dozen runs, and you know, and him getting older,
yeah,
she might give him a bit of a fright.
So she could work into a very nice stayer for you.
Oh, she will. I'm really confident of that. Yeah, she's only just 2.5 years old, and the stayers, you know, all they can go to any old age is tonight's wish proof. But I think she'll win a lot of stake money.
Racing, And slowly out there, Select Flowers per usual. Way fast there was Pit Stop Love out in the centre. It's a great charge for the early lead. McClady went through on the inside though, and McClady takes the early lead over Pit Stop Love. 2.5 lengths away came Most Having up to third, followed by Top Condition. A length or so back then came Brandon, followed by Jewel Lively. Third last bumping there was Select Flyer, and at the tail Civic Girl. Down the back McClady the leader, 2.5 to 3 clear. Pit Stop Love second. Most Having is bobbing away third, followed by Condition. They were followed by Select Flyer. Well back would have been Civic Girl. Jewel Lively up to the corner. McClady about 4 lengths out in front of Pit Stop Love, followed by Most Having. But it's all McClady, and McClady won by 3.5 lengths. Second, Pit Stop Love.
Okay, so pups around here.
Yeah, we use this as a pup yard, and they're waiting to go into long runs. These are well-bred pups, black Shiraz. And they'll be, come on. They'll be all right. They look just like their older brother Matthew.
And how old are these pups?
Good. These are 5.5 months. They're, you can see the ginger, black Shiraz sire, come out in the brindle one. He's the only brindle one in the litter, all the rest were black. There's 9 all told. Yeah. But I expect big things from them. They've got that lean racing look about them. You're always hopeful with pups.
Might be a champion in here.
It could well be,
What have you found over the years is the best way to train a greyhound? Do you like the walking, the free galloping?
Well, we do most of our walking, exercising in the mornings. We find it a bit time restricting in the afternoon and a little bit hot at times too. So in the morning we walk our dogs around the back paddock a couple of times, and then they go on the walking machines for half an hour and they do their exercise, and then they're put away. And the rest of the time they're just let out periodically to be emptied out.
When Len is asked about his favourite tracks, there's one that remains close to his heart.
Well, it has been Olympic Park. I just had enormous success at Olympic Park, and ideally I would have liked to have seen reproduced at the Meadows, but they've gone slightly different. But my pups will get used to it. It'll be great. I guess it was a tinge of sadness for you then, the night it closed back in '96? Well, I had a teary eye. I think it was a big night, 4,000 or 5,000 people there, and it got a little bit emotional. Yeah, it was sad, yeah, but just had a good feeling though, just the same. It was great. And it was at this track Len recalls one of his funnier moments in the sport. Well, I can remember one night at Olympic Park, there was a feature night and they had a promotion, and in that promotion they had a Rolls Royce on the track, on the sand, on the dog track. Anyway, they did all their razzmatazz and did their thing. And it was time to move it for the next race, and it wouldn't start. A Rolls Royce, mind you. And it was just the funniest thing. You know, all these people laughing because they had to push it off the track because they couldn't start it. Rolls Royce probably worth, you know, well over $100,000. While there have been plenty of highlights in Len's career, there have also been the disappointments. I remember a dog called Ernie McTavish. He just had the amazingest finishing run, a powerful burst run home, and he's a dog that had injury problems. And I won some races with him, but I think he could have been anything had he stood up. It was a disappointing to think back on that I couldn't have him at his best, you know, because I know I've had good dogs before and I know what he was, and he's one that really stands out in my mind, that it could have been anything. Well, Len, as a trainer in Victoria for, I guess, almost 2 decades, how do you see the sport in Victoria going? I think that Victoria will have the best greyhound run operation in the whole of Australia, basically because they've got the 2 city clubs and they're competing against each other, which is good. Competition's really healthy for us greyhound trainers because we just get the best of both worlds. I think it's really promising. I've had numerous people wanting to get into the sport. I advise them to get pups at an early age. That way they get the same chance as everybody else, and just hope for the best. And I've been advising a lot of people lately just to do that, and that's the way to get started, and the inquiries have been enormous. While there are plenty of young dogs to keep Len busy, there's always the option to increase the kennel. Well, there's quite a few of those bail dogs running around there that are quite handy. No, from time to time I do see them though, and I think to myself, geez, you know, I wouldn't mind a couple of those in my kennel. You know, that'd be really good. If Paul Wheeler was to ring in the morning and say, Len, could you take a couple of greyhounds for me, what would the response be? Well, I'd say, yeah, I've got room. I've got room. Good.